So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the banks of the river and we're in search of silvers on the float. You do join me in a swim we fished a couple of weeks ago, and I'll put a link to the top of the screen now to that session where we did really well for bream and silvers in this swim. We've come back today. It's a crisp, awesome morning. There's a nip in the air and it is a beautiful morning to be on the bank. You can see the cobwebs in the grass, the dew, and it's just one of them mornings that you'll love being by the river. So before we do get into the video, just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that subscribes to the channel, enjoys watching the videos, leaves the comments down below. It really is appreciated, and if you do enjoy the video, please leave it a like and subscribe down below. If you haven't got any comments, I'll do my best to answer them in the week, and I really do hope you enjoy this week's video. So the beauty of doing a YouTube channel is you can look back on previous sessions and see how you did. Last night I was watching the video back, and when we started putting ground bait in, we did start to get them bream and quite a few of them. So today we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to start off by just targeting the silvers on hemp and that underused bait, the elderberry. There's a tree behind the swim. I've been and grabbed a couple of bunches of elderberries, and hopefully we can get a few bites. And then as the session goes on, if we wanted to try and target bream, we've got plenty of ground bait to attack the swim. So panning the camera around, you can see I've got two rods set up today. I'm super organised. I've got my Cordon Glide in 13 foot, and on the previous video we needed the power in that rod to fish the swim. I have set my 17 foot rod up as well if we want to go a bit further out, so we've got plenty of options. On both rods I've got the same float but different shotting patterns. On one I've got a bulk shot, and on this one to start off with I've got a strung out shotting pattern. So I've got 15 number 4 strung out evenly. Just want to get that fall of a bait and a different presentation. Turning round, you can see we're nice and comfy today on the box. We've got the keep net in, the landing net. Bait wise, got plenty of that hinders hemp, got plenty of maggot as a backup so we can really attack the swim if we want. Let's put a bit of ground bait in because they were sweating. We've got corn, and then we've got them elderberries. Looking at the swim, got plenty of options. You know, you can go over the far side on a waggler. We do know there's a bad snag here from the previous session, round about where that branch is going through. So in the end we ended up going right underneath her feet, and we really did hit some quality bream. So we've got plenty of options. It is cooling down. You can see autumn is amongst us, the leaves are changing on the trees, but let's make the most of this early morning period and let's make a start. So to start off with, I'm just going to start with a single maggot on the hook. Just going to feed that hemp in front of us there, not too far out, and just lay that rig over the top. See that float dotted right down. I'm just going to go over the top of that hemp. Not going to feed any maggots or anything at the start. I'm just going to start on that hemp seed. Got a maggot on the hook just to see what's in the swim, but by just feeding that hemp we can then begin to wean them onto the elderberries. There we go, there's a bite straight away. So to begin with, like I say, all we've done is feed hemp into the swim, nothing but hemp. Again, a single maggot just going underneath her feet, feeding that hemp nice and close in, just off the edge of the keep net, and just letting that float go over the top of it. We literally are going off the rod tip. It's a nice depth. We've not got too much water in front of us. We can really just hold it back over that hemp. We're just hoping, there you go, these fish are just purely coming to the hemp. A few small perch to begin with. I was hoping that we would make contact with Mr. Roach really. You can just see the oil bubbling off the hemp, so you can see exactly where you're going over in this morning calm. There you go, right over the top of that hemp. Another fish and another perch. My uncle's downstream, he's getting roach and I'm getting perch. So just flicking that rig in, a pinch of hemp over the top, be nice and positive. There's plenty of fish in the river, but all we're feeding is that hemp at the moment. a better fish. It's a bream. Oh, it just shows, you know, the power of hemp, really. Already Mr. Bream's found that bait. It just shows we're getting a presentation right. And I think with these about, I think we'll move over to elderberries straight away. And there we go, what a beautiful bream that is. Third fish of the day, I think. With a few small perch. And it just shows the power of hemp. I'm going to move over to elderberries straight away. I wouldn't normally move this quick, but with quality fish about like that, I'm dying to see if they'll eat elderberries as well. So it's taken about probably 10-15 trots through on that elderberry, and the float is buried with a bream. I was beginning to think it wasn't working and I'd got it wrong, but just by sticking with it, I'm pretty sure if it had gone through on maggot, we'd probably got this a bit sooner. Just feeding that hemp, elderberry on the hook. You can see down there them black pearls along with those other black pearls, and this nice skimmer. Well, he's getting on for a bream, really. Couldn't resist. So as you know on the channel, we're always dead honest, and it hasn't been easy. It hasn't worked the way I thought it was going to work. I thought, feed the hemp, you'll get silvers, and go on the elderberries and you'll get them as well. And I've been waiting ages for bites, but when it is burying on that elderberry, it is quality. So I know I could put ground bait in and corn and maggot and make this a hell of a lot easier, but sometimes it's just not about that. Sometimes it's about doing it your way. So we might not be getting loads of bites on them elderberries, but what we are getting is quality. I sat in work in the week, just like everyone else who's an angler, sat thinking about the weekend ahead, and in my mind that was the species I was hoping to get early on, the roach. And again, after another probably 10-15 minutes of trotting, the float is buried, and there's definitely bream about. You see here, it comes up in the water. Oh, then bream. It's really hard to predict when that float's going to bury on them elderberries. I guess it just shows that you can catch them on them. So he is getting on there for the slabber-dabber-doo. I should really hold him up for camera, but mint condition. A beautiful bream. I'd say time to really target them, I think, and get some of that ground bait in. So looking at the ground bait, you can see there's plenty of particles in it. We've got them pellets, we've got corn. I put a bit of hemp through it as well. I'm going to introduce 3 big balls into the swim. You can see the main mix of it, and there is some barbel bomb in there as well, just with the pellets. You can see there, I'm going to go straight down to the bottom and hopefully get a few of them bream in the swim and really nail them down. So I'm not going to change anything really with the line that I'm going over. I'm going to feed them 3 big balls just on the rod tip so we can go over the top of them nice and easy. And then if we start getting bites, we can begin just to feed nuggets of ground bait like that into the swim. I'm going to start feeding some maggot, putting that through the swim as well, just so we can use that as a bait and start really targeting these bream over this area of the swim now. So a bit of an apology on the channel. I'm trying the hardest I can to get bites on camera. Every time I put that camera on my head, the float doesn't move. I put it down for a minute and it beddies. So I do apologise. Sometimes this YouTube is easy and you know, you get it all on film, and other times it's just a bit harder. Today is proving to be one of them days. But getting bites, going over that ground bait, it does feel maybe the seasons are changing, because you don't feel like they're on it like they have been in previous weeks. And there we go, what a mint condition bream that is. Thought I'd get it out and hold it up for camera, a bit different than the other ones. So just changed over to a piece of corn just going through, and I'm rewarded with a better roach. So there are better roach in here, and as anglers we always have them days where it doesn't seem to go to plan. And they were the roach I was hoping to get this morning, just on the hemp and the elderberries. Might be 1 or 2 in the swim now, so it might be worth just changing back. And although we say it's been weird for them bream, eventually that float does bury. With the food going in, they're never too far behind. And like I said, in the background there's always a bream. Hopefully it's the start of 1 or 2 towards the end, and we can get a few. But it has been a weird day's fishing, most definitely. So just coming to the end of the session now, and the bream most definitely have arrived a little bit. There's 1 or 2 coming into the swim. And although not being able to try and do what I wanted to do on the session, that is the beauty of fishing, isn't it? Doesn't always go our way. It's why we'll be back next time to try again. I had plenty of quality today. Just another one of those bream lazily coming to the surface and to the net. And that is a quality bream, that one, most definitely. Plenty of weight to it. It's got to be probably the biggest one of the day. It's in excellent condition. Slime up the line. One happy Danny. Let's get it straight back and see if we can pick up 1 or 2 more. So the session today has been a bit up and down, like we've said, and that could be down to the seasons. As we move into winter and autumn, Mr. Chub might well come into play, and I wouldn't mind him on a winter's day. And to get him straight back. So the session does come to an end there now, and towards the end of the session we managed to get a few more bites from them skimmers, roach, and we had a bonus chub. As you can see in the final net, plenty of bites and an enjoyable day on the bank. So at the end of the session, spent a bit of time talking to my uncle, and it is weird when you look at that final net, it looks like a very good day's fishing, but it has been on and off all the way through. I guess as we move through the seasons, the venues do change, and it won't be long till we're up on the banks of that mighty River Ribble for them days. If you have enjoyed this week's vlog, please leave it a like and subscribe down below. And all that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.